Hi there, welcome to my channel. If you're nowhere, bless you, right? These are my thoughts and opinions. I swear a lot. If that's your kind of thing, like just random chit chat, please consider subscribing. But if you do, remember to ring the little bell, because I in no way post regularly. I post whenever I'm called to. I work in different ways than most folks. What can you do? And to prove that point, I'll start off my story. So the other night, I got up for a wee when I was in bed, right? And I went to the toilet. Now, this is going to get weird before. Yeah, okay. Like I said, please consider subscribing. So I have a disco toilet. Now, if you have a disco toilet, you'll know what a disco toilet is. But if you don't have a disco toilet, please let me enlighten you. So it's this little motion-censored thing that goes on the outside of your toilet, and it's got a little thing with a little bulb in it. And so when you go to the toilet in the night, it's set off, and this disco light comes on in your loo, right? Party potty, I call it, my party potty. Disco toilet works just as well. And in case you want one, like literally, they're just tons of fun. And they're about £3. You could get them off Temu or One Beyond Do, and that's where I get it from. That's where I got mine from. Anyways, right, so I'm sitting there on the loo, having a pee, appreciating my party potty, because it's just the gift that keeps on giving. And I'm thinking, motion sensors. Like, literally, I live in a world where there's such a thing as a motion-censored toilet disco. And this got me thinking, over a period of several years, to be fair, about, like the differences that I've seen in my life. So I've discussed this with my son. My son's a Zedder, and I'm an Xer. I'm Gen X. Generation X. Generation Strange. Sun don't even shine on my window pane. It's July 2024. Of course the sun's not shining on my fucking window pane, because yeah, well, what a lovely autumn we're having this summer, are we not? Anyway, so I'm sort of sitting there thinking, like, of all the changes that I've seen, and I consider myself really lucky to be Generation X, because I've witnessed a complete turnaround of the world, of how, the everyday world works. And so I was like writing myself a little list of things that have changed in my lifetime, things I was born before. I was born on the year when they brought in decimalisation, so no shillings for me. Video games, obviously. I grew up with Pong. I remember Pong. 2 bats and a bouncing. To be fair, I bloody love Pong. Obviously, mobile phones, landlines. Now, I can remember when we got our first landline. You used to have to go around and knock on doors before that. Can you imagine? Knocking on somebody's door these days? Quick, call the police. Like the world has just changed so much. We'll get back to the list and whatever. But I can remember when we got our phone, and it was in the hallway, and it was one number for everybody, 833033. Just in case you wondered, what I mean. It's like numbers do go into your head, Pete, and they're meant to. These people know this. But yeah, so like, and so like we used to have to go in and sit on the stairs, like when the phone rang and it was for one of us, whoever it was, would go into the hallway and sit on the stairs. Posh people had little chairs with a table with it on. Posh people. Me not posh. Never been posh. Never going to be posh. I can speak to posh people, but I ain't going to speak to them like I'm posh, because that would be fake, and I don't do that. But yeah, so much stuff like that I lived before. Central heating. Do you know what I mean? We don't even think of central heating these days. Do you know what I mean? We had a coal fire. I remember getting a gas fire, and it was like, wow, felt like the Queen of Sheba with that fucker. Toilet upstairs, a toilet in the house. Whoa, mate, whoa. When I first got a shower, I thought, oh, that was like recently, that was in the last 15 years, but I thought, oh, posh. And a doorbell. Oh. Do you know what I mean? But I grew up when there was little to nothing of any kind of technology. I remember my brother got a Space Invaders, little plastic white Space Invaders, a handheld thing. And we spent hours sat in the kitchen with the lights off, like me watching him play. Like, obviously, you don't get a go, you get a go. You go. When you got 4 brothers, they had the odd go, but I was little, do you know what I mean? Seen and not heard and all that fandango. But that was like magical and shit. What else we got on here? Anything? E-scooters, facial recognition, smart TVs. Now that is just like how things are going at the minute. Do you know what I mean? Motion sensors. Motion fucking sensors. Like this was stuff, and touch screens. Do you know what I mean? This was like the stuff of science fiction. Like, if you ever get a chance, go back and watch Tomorrow's World, mate. Fucking hilarious. Or, like, younger, like, old Blue Peter. One day, like, comes out with his mobile phone like Dom Jolly. Whatever. But my point is like, you know, like the Gen Zers and even the millennials to a certain extent, people won't know this. Whatever, you know, like after Gen Zers. You know, we're not going to remember this. And part of the reason is Gen X. It's the fact that it's fashionable now to be, I'm from Gen X, I'm better than you are, you don't know how easy you've got it, oh, we used to drink water from the hose pipe and all this lot, and mums would kick us out and say, come back at, you know, like when the lights go on, the street lights go on. It's like stuff like that. Yeah, they did. And the kids these days are just literally plugged into a device from the minute that they're born. And we did have a freedom that the kids now are never going to know. And what are we using that knowledge for? To belittle them and talk down to them and say, yeah, we're better because we had a hard fucking knock life and whatever. And it's like, I'm really proud to be Generation X. Really proud. Do you know what I mean? I think if I wasn't, that would be my favourite generation, to be fair. But as it is, I've lived through it. I've lived through fucking disco and rave, mate, in my life. Do you know what I mean? I've lived through so many different changes. Do you know what I mean? And Spandau Ballet, never mind. What was it? New Age. You know, so many different things. Punk, like, do you know what I mean? It's like, I suppose, like, the boomers will be like, yeah, but you didn't know the excitement of Elvis and whatever. And it's like, yeah, I've watched it, but it's not the same as the way that it would have been to them when that was the level of, like, technology that they had. It was like, wow. Do you know what I mean? And I'm sure that Gen Zers have got that going on for themselves, and I'm sure millennials did too. Personally, really proud of my generation. Not proud of the way that my generation is behaving, of the old, you know, like there being a divide. And again, everything comes from up there. Every divide that we have between us comes from up there, or comes from us and is pushed from up there because they need us not communicating with each other. And I think that it's a crying shame that Generation X isn't going, yeah, do you know what I mean? This was really cool. Do you want to know about it? Like, let me educate you this. You know, like, you know, kids don't sit down with grandparents anymore and say, like, how was it? You know, like when, I remember my mum telling me when they were little, they used to just get a tin can and hang some string on it, go around picking up fag bolts, bits of wood, any sweet wrappers, whatever, just set fire to it and swing it round. Political correctness and health and safety. I lived to be out before that too. My mum lived when it was even freer than me. Now, nobody's free. we're all slaves to the system, and we're slaves to our electronic devices, and we need to be speaking to each other more, and we need to stop this speaking down to somebody because they don't know what we know, because it's not a good look, and it doesn't get anybody bloody anywhere. Do you know what I mean? We all are part of this. Whatever generation you're from, whatever sex you are, whatever colour you are, we're all on the same team. And we need to be acting like it, because I just watched a video back, going through my memories on Facebook, on my old account. Watched a video I did 15 years ago, where Gordon Brown had, with the Queen, my government, which was Labour 15 years ago. And Labour enshrined in law a halving of child poverty by 2012 and an ending to child poverty by 2020, because they were looking to get re-elected. And that's what I said on this video. I don't remember what was going on at the time, but on this video, I got really short blonde hair and cut that myself. Yeah, but it's like, literally, whatever happened to that? This is the world we live in. They don't have any rules. They can promise you the earth, and they repeatedly promise you the earth, and they have no intention of fulfilling that. Just like the Tories didn't give us 30,000 new nurses, Labour isn't going to give us these 26,000 or whatever new teachers. And if they are, it will be because they just need to control us a little bit more easy. But they literally, what state is child poverty in now? And that's the government we've just elected in. Not me, was it? That has, that my country has elected in. The government that didn't stop child poverty. And you can say, oh, well, the Tories were in. But this is like, like the pantomime of how it works. Shouldn't be like that. Should be everybody having a say. And if the Tories, while Labour's in, the Tories should have the right to go, no, I'm sorry, but we're still here and we still work for these people. You are not allowed to do that. You're harming these people. And they didn't. And like Labour, when they were just campaigning earlier on in the year, were like, oh, the Tories did this, we're going to put that right. It's like, no, you watched them do that. It's God and Satan all over again. Just watching them so that they beg for you. Do you know what I mean? All comes from them. The religion bit, politics, it's all Masonic. Do you know what I mean? It's all from the same people. People who were left with the secrets of the universe and decided to keep them for themselves, to keep us enslaved. Now, these people are fucked. I won't explain now, but the end is near. It is coming nearer. People are waking up, exponentially now. There will come a time when we'll hit critical mass and they're fucked. And that's why they spend so much money on distracting us. Non-bleeding bullet wounds. Shit like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, literally, we're living through... And so while we've got Donald Trump, Jay Slater, and there's something else that's going on, and like we've lost 4 great celebrities in a week. RIP. Especially Shannon and Richard. Richard Simmons. It's, there's so much going on. Have a look what's going on behind closed doors. Oh, yeah, the Euros, that's the one. RIP. I thought we did really well this year, but apparently, I'm a woman. What do I know? Anyway, so thought we'd have a fun thing. Let me know things that you can remember that you lived through that have basically been upgraded now. What else have we got? Pot noodles. I lived before pot noodles. Uniform fruit and veg. Do you know what I mean? It's like now you have specific wonky fruit and veg. That's like the cheaper one. There was no such thing as uniform fruit and veg when I was little, European standards and whatever. Silly. Sell-by dates. Lived before sell-by dates. Did not die. Did not. Oh, and this bloody, like, literally, putting on shampoo, do not drink. Lived before all of that. Did not die. Do you know what I mean? That don't make me any different. And that, I don't know, maybe there are people out there that's stupid, but it's just, if they make sure, it's just people not wanting to be sued. And that is also something that I lived before. I remember when that first came out, if there's blame, there's a claim and all this, that and the other. And people just suing each other for fucking anything. And it was advertised on the TV. It still is. Have you been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault? You know, like, people are so scared of being sued these days that, like, literally, you know, like, they have to put disclaimers to not drink shampoo. That's the world that we have allowed Generation X and the boomers and now the millennials are allowing to happen. And if we don't stand up and say something, the Gen Zers are not going to do anything either, because there'll be even more control. Water cannons, that's another thing that I lived before. ULEZ cameras, do you know what I mean? Like, let's put a stop to this. Let's discuss and let's reminisce on the past without using it as a weapon to make out that we're better than other people, because none of us are, because none of us are standing up and fucking directly dealing with the cause. We have to come together, all of us, all ages, all races, colours, creeds, sexes, levels of income, intelligent quotient. All of us need to come together and discuss this. That is the only thing that will change this world. Not a shot needs to be fired. And if there is, there'll be real, no, not a shot needs to be fired. We don't need to be fighting like that. That's there. They've taught us, they teach us from the age of 4 that war is the only way to achieve world change. Achieve change on the world stage, voting somebody in, going to fucking war, killing people. Do you know what I mean? And they're wrong. They've been lying to us this whole time. Please let's get together and discuss this. I'm going to leave you there because I know I've waffled. But if you can think of anything else, like stick it in, I think, washing machines. I remember my mum doing hand washing, so I think I was born before washing machines as well. But if you can think of anything, let me know. And I'll leave you there. If you stayed with me till the end, I love you a baby. And if you're a returning subscriber and you want one, let me know. I'll fashion you a badge. And I found the badges the other day, so I can actually do that. So I'm not scared of anybody saying yes. So if you want one, let me know. And I was thinking, like, like if I get to 1,000 subscribers, heaven forbid, right? I was thinking of doing some kind of giveaway at my own expense. So yeah. Like I've got ideas, but somebody could have one of my aliens and loads of other random crap and stuff, because I like doing stuff like that. Anyways, right, I'll let you go. And I shall speak to you soon, hopefully. Please come back. Please, it's so lonely being the weirdo. Thank you for being here. And never forget that I love you all. So, bye now.